So we shall do our first problem in which the solid is having two inclinations. So here we are having a square pyramid. A square pyramid edge of base 50 mm and height 70 mm has its axis inclined 45 degree to HP. Draw its projections if one of its base edges is on HP and is inclined 60 degree to VP. Assume that the apex of the pyramid is away from VP and is on right side. So this square pyramid is having a base edge length of 50 mm and height 70 mm. These are the dimensions, and you are provided with two inclinations also. One is the inclination for the axis, which is with respect to HP. Another one is inclination for the base edge on which it is resting, which is mentioned with respect to VP. Okay, so here out of these four angles, they have provided us theta and phi. Theta is for axis and phi is mentioned with respect to the base edge on which this particular pyramid is resting. So we need to take some decisions before starting the problem. One decision is, we need to take two decisions. One decision is which inclination is to be applied first. So we'll be observing the order of preference. Okay, so in question number 1, the one inclination is mentioned with respect to the axis, and that is theta. Another inclination is for the base edge. It is mentioned with respect to VP, that is phi. Okay, so in this case, as per the order of preference, we don't have an inclination that is mentioned with respect to phase. Here we are having inclination with respect to axis, and that inclination is 45 degree. So this inclination is to be applied first, and base edge is having an inclination which is mentioned with respect to VP. This inclination is to be applied second. Okay, so we made that decision which inclination is to be applied first. Then the next decision that is to be made is where to draw the base shape. Is it in the front view or in the top view? Okay, so in order to make this decision, we have to again come to the order of preference. If we are applying theta first, then the base shape will be in the top view. If we are applying phi, that is inclination with respect to VP first, then the base shape will be in the front. In this question, in question number 1, we have to apply theta, that is the inclination for the axis first. So inclination with respect to HP is applied first, so the base shape will be in the top view. And what is the base shape of a pyramid? Base shape of a pyramid is a square with two diagonals. So let us start it from this top view. So initially we shall draw the top view with 50 mm base edge. And we shall draw two diagonals also for this base shape. So this is the outline of the top view, which is a square. We are drawing the base shape in this manner such that one of the base edges is on the right hand side, because the solid is resting on one of its base edges. Okay, so that is why we are drawing the base edge on the right hand side. So after drawing the corresponding top view, the base shape, we shall name it starting from this point. Let us start it from this point, starting it with A, B, C and D. So these are the base corners. Now we shall name the apex. Apex is P and center of the base is O. So top view is completed and we shall go to the front view. So the height of the pyramid is 70 mm. PO is the axis and the height of the axis is also 70 mm. So let us extend a projector from PO to the front view. And let us draw a height of 70 mm. So here we have to represent the axis using a chain thin line. So this point is P dash and this point is O dash. Next, we shall mark the base corners A, B, C, D. So when you are observing from the front, that is in this particular direction, when you are observing the solid, D and C will be visible and A and B will be invisible. Okay, so we shall mark the visible points first. That is, here it is D dash and here it is C dash. So we have extended two projectors to the front view. So here it is D dash and here it is C dash. So behind D dash we are having A. Shall mark it as A dash. So this is to be made in brackets because A is invisible in the front view. And here it is B dash. B dash also in brackets because when you are observing from the front, B is behind C, so it will be invisible. So we have got 1, 2 and 3 points in the front view. And we shall join these points in order to get the outline of the front view. Especially remember to draw the base also using dark lines. It must be having a darkness that is greater than that of the XY line. So this forms the outline of the front. Okay, so this is step number 1. That is, this is the first set of diagrams. And now we shall apply angle theta. So theta is for the axis. Axis is inclined 45 degree to HP. So you leave some distance from the first set of diagrams and take an angle of 45 degrees. So suppose the base is around, so this in this case the base is having a length of 50 mm. You take 60 mm to the right hand side from this particular point and let us take an angle of 45 degrees. Okay, you draw a thin line here. It is type B line. Here actually the axis is having an angle of inclination of 45 degree with respect to HP. So axis and base are at an angle of 90 degrees. So if the axis is inclined at an angle of 45 degrees, base also will be inclined at an angle of 45 degrees with respect to the horizontal plane as they are perpendicular to each other. So we are making an inclination of 45. So we shall fit this base to this particular line. So the length of the base is 50 mm. So this is 50 mm. So we shall mark it as the base. So 50 mm. We shall also mark the center. Okay, and we shall transfer these names. So this is B dash, C dash, this point is O dash, this is D dash, A dash. Okay, so in this front view, actually the center of the base O is also invisible. Here also O is invisible. And we shall draw the axis. Axis is perpendicular to the base. The length of the axis is 70 mm. this point is point P dash. Again we got 1, 2, 3 points. Joining this we shall draw the outline. Here this angle, that is the angle of the axis with respect to the horizontal plane, it is 45 degrees. Okay. So the difference between these two diagrams are only in the inclination. This is having only a change in the inclinations. Dimensionally, these two diagrams are the same. We have given only an inclination of 45 degree for the axis. Here we have given an inclination of 45 degree to the base, so that the axis is inclined at an angle of 45 degree to the horizontal. Now we shall think about the top view. So in order to draw the top view, we have to extend projectors from the front. So let us extend projectors from the front. From each and every corners of the front view, let us extend projectors. From the center of the base also we shall extend the projector. We shall extend the projectors from the previous top view. Okay. Now the next step is to obtain various points A, B, C, D, P and O in this particular space. Now let us obtain it one by one. This is the projector for A and this is also the projector for A. So this point will be point A. Again, this is the projector of B and this is also the projector of B. So this point is B. Next is, this is the projector of P and this is also the projector of P. So this will be point P. This is the projector of C and this is the projector of C. So the meeting point will be C. Likewise, D is also marked. Let us mark the center of the base, O and O. So this will be the center of the base. So apart from the center of the base, all others are some kind of corners. A, B, C, D and P are corners. So after obtaining these points, the first step is draw the outline. Okay, so in order to draw the outline, we shall start it from the extreme left. So connecting A and D, we don't have any other points to the left hand side here. So connecting A and D, we shall draw a boundary. Next is to go on rotating the scale by placing it on A. The next connection point is B. So connect from A to B. So here if you notice, there is no other point of this particular diagram above AB. Next connection point is A to P. Next one is, you go on rotating the scale. Next one is C. And the next one is D. So this forms the outline of the diagram. So this is step number 1 in this procedure. After obtaining the outline, the next step is you need to find out whether we are having any invisible corners in this particular top view. So in order to find out invisible corners, we will be using a shortcut. We will be observing, so this is a top view. So you please observe this diagram from the top in this direction. On the extreme left of this diagram we are having AD, and on the extreme right of this diagram we are having P dash. So connecting these 2 points, already we are having a straight line here. So whatever that is below this straight line, that is O dash, B dash and C dash, they may be invisible if they are not a part of the outline. So when you check out, let us check out it one by one. O is actually the center of the base, it is not a corner, but still as it is below this particular line, we shall treat it as invisible. So we shall write it in brackets. Then B and C. B and C are corners, but they are the part of this particular outline. So we cannot treat these 2 corners as invisible. But if you are having a line or an edge that is connecting BC, it has to be treated as invisible. So connecting B and C, we are having an edge here, that is base edge BC. So this edge will be invisible. So we shall draw it with dashed thick lines. So we have done the outline, we have drawn the invisible edge. Next procedure is, we have to check out whether we have drawn all the base edges, that is AB, BC, CD and DA, and all the slanting edges, that is PA, PB, PC and PD. So here we have drawn all the base edges AB, BC, CD and DA. Now let us check out, have we done with all the slanting edges. So PA is one of the slanting edges. Here we have not drawn PA. So what about the visibility of PA? PA is visible or invisible? If you again check this diagram, PA is on this particular line, and also PA is crossing a confirmed hidden line. So this is known as a confirmed hidden line. So whenever a confirmed hidden line is crossed by another line, definitely it has to be visible. So PA is visible. PB is already drawn here. PC is also drawn here. Now let us think about the next slanting edge, which is PD. So when you are connecting P and D, it is also crossing a confirmed hidden line. So definitely it will be visible. Now the last step is drawing the axis connecting P and D. So connecting P and D, we shall draw a chain line. Okay, so this completes this set of diagrams. So here these 2 diagrams are actually different. They are not almost the same in their dimensions. So this is a top view of a pyramid, a square pyramid, which is inclined at an angle of 45 degrees with SP, and presently this square pyramid is resting on its base edge, and the name of the base edge is BC. That is why it is invisible in the top. Okay. So we have applied theta, that is axis is inclined 45 degrees to SP. And we have to apply the second inclination, that is the square pyramid is resting on a base edge on SP and is inclined 60 degrees to VP. So BC is the base edge on which this square pyramid is resting, and the same base edge is making an angle of 60 degrees with respect to VP. So what you have to take care is, towards the last of the corresponding question, it is mentioned that assume that the apex of the pyramid is away from VP and is on the right hand side. So in this diagram already we have made the apex on the right hand side. So the diagram is tilted to the right hand side. So I have tilted it to the right hand side because it is mentioned that the apex is on the right hand side. Otherwise I could have tilted it to the left hand side. Now we have to draw a reconstruction, that is you have to reconstruct in such a way that this diagram in such a way that the base edge on which it is resting, that is BC, is inclined at an angle of 60 degrees with respect to VP. 60 degrees with respect to VP means in the top view it is 60 degrees with respect to the XY line. Okay. Now I am going to draw a line which is inclined at an angle of 60 degrees with respect to the XY line. I am drawing a thin line. So So this is a thin line. So the next step is I'll be fitting this base edge to this 60-degree incline line. So this line is having an inclination of 60 degree. So this inclination is 60 degree. Now you measure this base edge. It will be again 50 mm because this base edge is on the horizontal plane. So when you're observing on the top, this will be having tooling. So I'm going to fit it on this to the 60-degree line. So let me mark a point P here. So this is point, let us mark it somewhere here. Let us mark it as point B. BC is 50 mm. I'm drawing a BC is 50 mm. I'm drawing a 50 mm long dashed thick line here. Okay, so this point is point C. This is point C. So this is 50 mm. Now AB and BC, they are perpendicular to each other. DC and BC also, they are perpendicular to each other. So I am drawing it here, but the length of AB and the length of DC are not 50 mm. Okay, I am going to measure it here. It is approximately some 35 or 36 mm. So I am drawing it perpendicularly here. Okay. This is point A. And this is point D. Connecting, we shall connect A and D. So this forms the base. Now we have to locate O and P. So if you notice, we are having a thin projection line here. This projection line is almost to the center of this rectangle. Okay, so I shall locate the center of this rectangle. So this is totally, let us assume that it is 36. So center will be 18. So here I am putting a dot. Here also I am putting a dot. I am joining it using a thin line. So the length of this line is again 50. Again I am marking the center. So this point will be point O, which is again invisible. Now let us draw the axis. So PO and this line, they are perpendicular to each other. But the length of PO is not 70 mm. Because the axis is having an inclination here. When you are observing from the top, it seems to be a reduced line here. So presently PO is not having true length, it is only having plane length. So this is actually a plane length, it is not true length of the axis. So measure the plane length from this diagram. It is approximately some 48 and draw it perpendicularly. We shall mark it as P. Now you join ABCD, P. So the same diagram is drawn here. Let us draw all the other slanting edges. Okay, So the difference between these two diagrams are only in their inclination. So this is inclined at an angle of 60 degree. These two diagrams are dimensionally the same. So this is the final top view, and we have to draw the final front view. So in order to draw the final front view, what you have to do is we have to extend projectors from the present top view. So we shall extend projectors from each and every line points of the present top view. Now we shall extend projectors from the previous front view. Already a projector from BC was here to the right hand side, so we need not extend it because it is along the XY line. Now we shall extend a projector from O. So here this is a projector from O, it is almost here. So I am extending it only up to this point because it is starting from this. I am rolling my scale and I am extending projector from DA. Now I shall extend the projector from P. Okay. Now we shall mark the points A, B, C, D, P and O in this front view. We shall start it from A. So this is the projector of A and this is also the projector of A. So this will be point A dash because it is a front view. Now it is B. So this is the projector of E and this is the projector of B. We shall mark it as B dash. C. Likewise, D also is to be marked. D and D. Now this is the projector from O and this is the projector from O. So it will be somewhere here. O dash. Again the apex P. P dash. Okay, so we have got all the points in the front view, and the next step is drawing the outline connecting the various points that we have obtained in the front view. We shall start it from the extreme left. On the extreme left we are having point D. Let me place my roller scale here, and with D I am going on rotating my roller scale. The first point which is coming in this line is P dash. So I am joining A dash P dash. Again I am rotating my scale in this direction. Okay, so the next point is B. If you observe, it is B. Okay, so I am connecting P dash and B dash. So the next point is, when I am going on rotating it, the next point is C. So C, again I am going on rotating my scale, connecting D dash. So this forms the outline of the front. So first step is drawing the outline of the front view. Next is finding invisible corners, if at all any of them are there in the front view. So in order to find out invisible corners in the front view, we have to use the top view. So in order to get the front view, you have to observe it from the front, is it? So I'm just marking an arrow hit here. On the extreme, this is the top view. On the extreme left we are having D, and on the extreme right we are having P. Already connecting D and P, we are having a straight line here. So all the points which are to this side, that is A, B and O, can be invisible in the front view if they are not a part of the outline. Let us take it one by one. O. O is the center of the base and O is not a part of the outline. So we shall draw it as, we shall draw a bracket here. but O is not a corner. Next, A and B. B is already a part of the outline of the front view, so B cannot be treated as invisible. So let us leave B. What about A? A is not a part of the outline and A is a corner. So A will be invisible in the front view. A will be invisible in the front view. So we got a corner which is invisible in the front view. If a corner is invisible, we will be having three edges which is starting from this corner, which are also invisible. So how to find out these three edges? You come to the base shape. So this is corner A. We are having AB, AD and AP. These are the three edges. AB is a base edge, AD is also a base edge, and AP is a slanting edge. These three edges which are starting from A will be invisible. So let us do it one by one. AB using dashed thick lines, then AD again using dashed thick lines, then the last one is AP again using dashed thick lines. So we have done with all the invisible edges. Now we shall check whether we have drawn all the base edges and slanting edges in the front view. So let us check the base edges first. AB is here, BC, CD and DA. All the base edges. We have drawn all the base edges in the front view. Now let us check the slanting edges. PA, already we are drawn it. PB is here. PC, we have not drawn PC. So what about the visibility of PC? When you are joining P and C, when you are trying to join P and C, it is crossing a confirmed hidden line. All these lines 1, 2, 3, they are known as confirmed hidden lines. If a line is crossing a confirmed hidden line, that line will be visible. So P dash C dash will be visible. So P dash C dash is here and P dash D dash is also here. So all the slanting edges are drawn, and the last step is drawing the axis connecting P and O dash. This is chain thin line. So the first step in doing the problem was drawing the base shape. So this is diagram number 1. After drawing the base shape, we have drawn the front view. This is diagram number 2. From diagram number 2 to diagram number 3, actually it is a reconstruction. Dimensionally these two diagrams are same. Only difference is we have applied phi. We have applied theta. So in this diagram, axis is inclined 45 degree with respect to HP. This is diagram number 3. From 3 we obtained 4 by extending projector from both these diagrams. And again from 4 to 5 it is a reconstruction. Dimensionally these two diagrams are the same. Only difference is in the inclination, that is 60 degree. From diagram number 5 we proceeded to diagram number 6. So this is the way in which we will be solving this particular problem.